So we have the chop saw and its mobile stand all set up, and got one of the pieces in it right now. The table saw is set up. We have done mostly chopping, so we've got bottom beams, top beams. I am going to start dry assembly, making sure that my fit looks good, and maybe we'll get some talking about that. So that's it for this moment. Okay, we're back. So I've finished the framing members for the main box of the aquarium. What I've framed up now, I've dry fitted the top. So we have the side beams and front beams. Over here we have the main verticals. Overall, we're at shy over 27, and we're shy, just about right on 27 that way. Measurement inside of about 24, which basically means that the aquarium will sit somewhat inside the perimeter here, and the aquarium has its plumbing coming through the bottom, so it's plumbed in the bottom for bulkheads, and they are actually in the corner. So I've got 3 holes in the corner of the aquarium. This is a view of one of the side assemblies. So top beam, bottom beam, the main vertical posts there. Now the feature here is that the stuff coming out of the table here, the fronts and the backs, are crossed at the main vertical here. So this, for example, would be the back. Okay, so here's the pocket joiner that I'm using. It's a generic version of the Kreg, K-R-E-G. I've already pocket drilled the doubles, because this side is going to have one of the verticals on it, and there'll be pocket screws going down through there. I did not want to get too close to this edge, so the pocket screws are going to come down from the vertical into this face. On the opposite side, there'll be a single hole, which I've already done on this piece. So we have a single and a double. The reason why I don't have doubles on the same face is because it was just going to take way too long to do setups. Pocket hole jig is all set up right now for the single hole in the center, which I haven't done yet on this piece. So the face that gets drilled faces the bushings like so. I can clamp it in place, and then that center hole there is for the single hole. I've shifted this one out of the way so I don't use it, and shifted this one to be the center of the hole pattern. So what I'll do is I'll drill this one hole again on this face. The other end of the face already has 2 pockets in it, so when I flip this end to end, so this face will come down, flip down, and be facing that way. So that way I'll get a single hole in the center. Okay, all of the pockets are drilled for the top and the bottom. So I have completed the upper and lower picture frame assemblies. This is the lower, the 2x4 base. My pocket holes are sitting a little bit low in the base, as I mentioned earlier when I was measuring it out. That's so that the screws coming down from the vertical support will have at least a little bit of length before they get anywhere near the existing screw. These are the pocket screws that I'm using. I did not use the screws that the pocket screw jig came with. These aren't a whole hell of a lot longer, but the nice part about them is that with the Torx head on them, I got a much better control over them than the Phillips that came with the pocket joiner. We have the front beam, part of the main carcass that we already built day one, and then we have the horizontals that I've just put in here. This area here will be the plywood will go on top, and then I'll route a opening to provide clearance for the bulkheads. I need one more tie I'm going to put in here. So the whole thing is really sturdy. I've kind of impressed with the way it came together. The pocket screws really did the job. Next step is going to be some probably some intercostals down below. I might run those fore aft, I'm not sure yet. For the sump location, and then I think what's going to happen is the back will get plywood. This side is there's going to be another cabinet next to this one, and this side will have plywood on it, but it needs to be sort of a presentation grade, so it needs to be a hardwood veneer or something like that. It's going to have something cut in it for a pass-through into the equipment box adjacent. But then on the front, I'm almost thinking that I could just make a removable panel, plywood removable panel, both front and side, that gives me full access to the full opening inside without having to deal with door swing and open and door swing location and that kind of thing. As you can see, we have the tank installed on the top. This is kind of a dry fit. You can see right now, though, that the aquarium has pretty much a full 1.5 inch dimensional lumber around the outside. But the important thing is that this back corner be open and available, because when we go up from the bottom here and take a look, we can see that I boxed that out on either side. So we have at least two sides are fully supported around that corner, and then when the plywood goes on, that just stabilizes the whole thing. The tank, real quick, was a custom order. I asked for the overflow to be the back corner because that's the way that the tank is going to be displayed. This back corner will be pretty much blind anyway. The work on the overflow teeth and all that stuff is great, and the black back, and I'm really happy with the way this came out, and it was pretty reasonable too. Under $600, all acrylic. Next stop is bottom intercostals and plywood, and then plywood on the top.